If chemical weapons were used in Ukraine, would that trigger a military response from NATO?
It would trigger a response in kind.
So, you know, but the Ukrainian people have a lot of backbone. They have a lot of guts, and I'm sure you're observing it. And you're going to see when you're there.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
The White House now having to clarify several statements that President Biden made during his overseas trip. For more on this and the ongoing war in Ukraine, let's bring in James Freeman, Wall Street Journal editorial page assistant editor and Fox News contributor. Normally, a president goes overseas and the criticism is supposed to stop, but the president has said some things that are very concerning, James.
Yeah, he has a problem with public speaking, and this is especially a problem given what he does for a living. His policies, I think, have actually been pretty clear. We're going to help the Ukrainians, we're going to sanction the Russians, but we're also going to avoid getting directly engaged in this conflict, given that Russia has thousands of nuclear weapons. So I think his policies are reasonable, straightforward, but when he gets into situations where he has to describe them, or when he's responding to reporters' questions, he's saying things that are very dangerous. And you mentioned all of these statements that had to be walked back. These are not about inconsequential items, suggesting it seemed that we might use chemical weapons. That required the National Security Advisor to say, no, under no circumstances do we intend to use chemical weapons. We remember before the war, he had that odd press conference where he suggested that perhaps a minor incursion by Putin into Ukraine would be acceptable. So it's just very dangerous when he goes to the microphone. And I think he needs to consider doing less public speaking.
Right. And, you know,
as odd as that sounds for a president.
To the point about using U.S. troops, his remark when he said, I'm sure you're observing it and you're going to see it when you're there, the heroism of the Ukrainian people. He said that to soldiers of the 82nd Airborne. They are one of the most feared military forces in the world. And if he's suggesting that they're going to be in Ukraine, you know that the Kremlin sat up and took notice.
Yeah, and we've seen, obviously, through history, wars can begin and wars can broaden over miscalculations, miscommunications, misunderstandings among adversaries and potential adversaries. So for him to make these off-the-cuff remarks, and I have to assume that comment about Putin not remaining in power, which then later had to be clarified, was not part of his prepared text. This is dangerous. We live in a dangerous time. Obviously, this war is raging, and we're trying to help the Ukrainians as best we can. But this is really an issue that I hope the president and the White House will consider, whether we would all be better off right now if he stuck to prepared statements and maybe not even speak at all. Just put out the material he wants to in text form. I know this is weird to say this. This is our leading politician. This is sort of what politicians do, is talk in public. But we've had a lot of problems, and they're not inconsequential.
Yeah. President Zelensky of Ukraine, obviously a worldwide hero right now, he's saying that energy policy is a big part of this battle. Listen to what President Zelensky had to say.
I ask you to increase the output of energy to ensure that everyone in Russia understands that no country can use energy as a weapon and to blackmail the world.
Because it is widely thought that Vladimir Putin expected that Germany would continue to buy his oil and gas, and he would be able to essentially hold Europe and NATO hostage because of his energy reserves. Seems like a good plan, a good call from President Zelensky. Is the White House going to go along with it?
Well, I'm hoping there is a realization that the big lesson here, and I think you see this most especially in Germany, but in other places in the region, is they embraced a kind of green energy fantasy, didn't want to have fracking in their neighborhood, didn't want to have nuclear power, wanted to believe that they were just around the corner from being able to rely on green energy. And of course, what it meant is that they are still heavily reliant on Russia for oil and gas. And that's part of the problem here, part of the leverage that he has, part of the threat that he can wield. And so I think another issue, this is obviously not as significant as the president talking about possible issues with chemical weapons and whatnot, but he's still talking about the alternative energy, the green agenda, as he's discussing Ukraine issues. And I think he has to be very clear now, not just for his own domestic political reasons and our economic reasons, but security reasons, that we should be encouraging American oil and gas production, which the world still very much needs.
Yeah, our Fox News polling shows that people are not happy with the state of the economy right now and the president's economic performance. James Freeman from the Wall Street Journal editorial page assistant editor, Fox News contributor as well. James, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.